Welcome to the Urban Gardener YouTube channel. My name is Alexis and I am the Urban GardenHER. All right, so the last time we had checked in, I was, it was late September, it was early September, which it still is. And I was talking about how my garden is still pushing out vegetables, producing from the summer, and that I wasn't ready to transition my garden. But, you know, it's okay to change your mind, which I have done. And I decided to actually start pulling up some of my summer vegetables and not necessarily getting rid of them or, being done with them completely, but to try to transition them into I guess permanent homes, temporary permanent homes from the summer, and my brassicas into their permanent homes because yeah, the weather is starting to transition, and I really do enjoy my fall vegetables like my collard greens and my kale and broccoli and all those different things. And although they're in containers right now, you know, they're pretty big containers, but they're not as big as if they were in a larger container like a raised bed, they would probably flourish and really be a lot larger. They're still at a decent size to where they don't need a whole lot of space right now, but I just foresee them growing and growing, and then we get to like October and it's too late to transition them into these raised beds or containers here. So I'm just going to pull up all of my peppers. We're going to start with the peppers, which is actually basically everything that's out here. We're going to pull up all of our peppers and put them into pots, the pots that the brassicas are in. I don't know, I'm kind of doing this backwards because ideally what you want to do is pull up all of your summer vegetables, replenish the soil, which I don't have on hand, and then put your fall vegetables in place of those. But we're doing it a little backwards and out of order. I'm going to put the summer peppers in containers and pots for now. Hopefully I don't disturb the roots too much, because you see I have like so many peppers that are growing on here, and like I just don't want to just disturb it to where it's like shocked and just stop producing. Yeah, it's hard out here, y'all. Like I literally, like, this pepper plant probably has only 2 peppers, and that probably wouldn't hurt as much. But this one, like, okay, some of these might be ready to harvest actually, so maybe that makes me feel a little better. But yeah, and also too, I went to the nursery, y'all. It's a trap. When you go to the nursery, you see all these things that it's like a kid in a candy store. So I was a kid in the candy store yesterday, out shopping at a plant nursery, and I thought I was gonna get like one little thing. One thing does not turn into just one; it turns into more than one thing. So it's like going shopping in Target. You get more than what you plan to get, and I ended up buying this tray of seedlings because although I did start my own seedlings, these are further along and they're ready. Look, they're ready to be in a raised bed. I got some broccoli here, some cauliflower, which I have not had success growing. So I really want to start them now. And these are further along than what I have right now. I have like little baby seedlings that are not going to get to maturity by the time we hit our hard freezes. And then I have this cabbage, and then also some green onions and some broccoli. Yeah, I said broccoli already. So yeah, I already have collards. My own collards have started from seed, which are doing fine, so I don't need any more collards. I already have mustard greens. I have some broccoli as well, but they're not as big as these. So I was like, let's get some of the plant starts from the nursery. So what I'm going to do today, this is going to be like, broken up in pieces, but I'm going to pull up some of the summer vegetables to show you how I transplant them into a container. And then I will have to start moving, I guess, some of my brassicas in containers. But I'm going to also pull up because it's not producing a whole lot. And to be honest, like, eggplant is not my favorite thing yet. I have not tried it in a way that I like it yet. You know what? scratch that. I've never tried eggplant at all, but I did grow it this year, and I only harvested one. I have one more that's about ready to harvest, and then the other plant just has a little small one which is not mature yet, and it's just taking up too much time and space. And sometimes when you're in those transition periods in the garden, you got to think about like how much time you want to invest. Like, is it worth the investment of space and time? And right now, the eggplant isn't, because it's not one of the vegetables that my family primarily eats. So we're gonna pull those up. I don't have any hard feelings about pulling those up. But my peppers, I got some Scotch bonnets. You'll see. I have Scotch bonnets back there, which are doing really well. They just started growing. I just hope they don't get mad at me. So let's get started. Okay, y'all. So the first thing that's gonna be coming up, which is so much stuff. Um, ooh, yeah, a lot of stuff that I just, yeah. This container here has like a bunch of different things happening. It has my California Wonder peppers that are growing. It has some green onions that I just recently harvested. Um, a bean plant, some lettuce that I recently transplanted, which I'll probably move somewhere else. Those won't disturb too bad. And then it looks like it's some oregano that I had planted here a while back. So I'm just going to pull up first these green onions, because I mean, onion seedlings don't really do too bad when you transplant them. So they won't, be too shocked to be relocated somewhere else. Just try not to, rip it out. So yeah, I'm gonna pull some of these out. Ugh. Oh no, see, like that. So I probably need to get down closer to the roots. Looks like I have more down there. Ugh. Yeah. Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad. I'm just gonna pull them to the side over there. Yeah, this is like, today is actually a good day for transplanting, relocating different plants, which is why I really want to get out here and do it today, because it's like we have a high of like 70, low 70s, which is kind of cool for the DMV area. Ooh, see, I knew I was going to do that. That root was kind of deep, which is kind of cool for the DMV area. So like, you don't typically want to retransplant your plants like in the heat of the day. They will be extremely upset with you, and it'll show. They will like fall over and wilt and all that, and even die sometimes. So yeah, just be careful doing that. Find a day that is a little cooler, not like super cold, but like a little cooler, to where the heat's not beating down on them, and just, relocate stuff. And I hope I got all of my green onions there. That's typically how they look anyways when you're cooking them anyways in the kitchen. So I don't feel too bad about, transplanting them somewhere else. But yeah, I have a lot of garden straw here as well. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pull these up, and since I don't have soil, I'm just gonna transplant some of my brassicas that are in the containers that they're currently in, because I need a space to put all of my peppers. And yeah, so I'm going to relocate this into a container and just basically swap it out. Yeah. Um, yeah, lettuce. Oh, see, like lettuce has really short roots, shallow roots. So that wasn't going to be too mad at me either. The roots weren't super deep, which is why it's great to companion plant lettuce and a lot of different things, because they don't really take up a lot of space root wise and root development, because they're shallow plants. But all right, we got this big old handy dandy shovel. Let's see. All right, you guys. So we're gonna do this for a couple of pepper plants, like a bunch more if we can. I don't have a whole lot of time today, and like I said, it's a cool day. We want to do it on a nice and cooler day than it to be hot. And it's supposed to be really hot in a couple more days, like in the 80s. So this is like prime time to do it, morning time especially. And I'll let y'all watch me as I relocate my pepper plants. Okay, so this here is my mustard plant. You can see I have like mustard, dill, and basil growing in here as a, to deter pests. So we're gonna just actually just pull. I don't want to pull it too hard, but I'm actually gonna probably relocate that basil. I don't think basil should be growing with brassicas, but I'm just gonna slide it on down. Wow, look at all those roots already, y'all. Like, and just plop it up in here so that this doesn't really, you know, get too much transplant shock. It's no transplant shock. It's literally just sliding it on out and putting it in my raised bed and my container. And look at it. It just did just fine. So we're gonna do that to a bunch of our other pepper plants. I'm sorry, pepper plants and our brassicas. Okay, guys, here we are 1 week later. And as you can see, I've already transformed everything in Grow Bag Alley and most of my other raised beds as well. I have, accepted that fall is here. It's like a little nippy this morning, but not too cold. I know that we're like in mid to late September, and the temperatures the temperatures are like around between the 60s, low 60s, maybe high 50s at night, and high 70s, mid to high 70s during the daytime. So it's still like decent outside, but again, um, everything has been hardened off, and hardening off your seedlings basically means you're transitioning your seedlings from indoors to outdoors. I'll be honest with y'all, I didn't do too much hardening off because a lot of these were already purchased. Some of these are purchased outside, and actually, the lettuce and the mine slipping. The collards and the mustards that are back here were already outside anyway, so I just basically transferred them from the containers into the raised beds and the containers. And I'm happy with my results so far because, one, they went through a little transplant shock when I moved them. I thought that them being in containers, they would be fine, like prior containers before I put them into the raised beds, that they'd be fine. But they did a little, like, ooh, I don't know how I feel about being out here, but they're fine now. They bounced back. Of course, as expected, we did experience, and sorry for the noise, it's trash day. Um, they did experience, as expected, being out in the elements and the temperatures being warm. There was a little, pest activity and pest damage that happened, and I mitigated them by basically doing some manual inspection and removal, basically looking at the plants, seeing the bugs, picking them off. I'm still contemplating whether or not I'm going to put some insect netting over them. I probably will because it's just a lot to come out here every day to just check your plants for bugs. And it's just good practice to, one, plant herbs like dill to attract parasitic wasp that will be attracted to the flowers, and then in turn will eat the worms and caterpillars that are on your brassicas, and also just any other herbs that are like are aromatic, so that the what is it the um my mind what is the name of that moth, cabbage moth will not land on your brassicas because they're not attracted to the aromatic scents. So, those are some ways to mitigate pests on your brassicas, but also, sure way mostly, and also planting garlic and onions, but also putting insect netting around your beds and your containers. But it's a little harder to do the insect netting around like my containers here because they're smaller. There's not a lot of, I mean, I could make a way, but it's just too much work to do that. So again, I'll show you all like how I have planted everything with herbs and everything here, what herbs I did plant, and also what brassicas I have out here in winter loving vegetables, and also how my summer peppers are doing in their containers, because that's actually what got transplanted into or transferred over into containers. So, all right, let's get you all a quick little look. All right. Okay, from first glance, I'm just going to give y'all a quick little peek at my peppers to see how they're doing in their containers. And as you can see, I have some Scotch bonnets that are here that are doing fine. They transferred over pretty well into this container, in this pot. So when I transferred over my peppers into these containers, I don't know if I should have did this or not, but I mean, they seem to be doing fine. I did water them with some Epsom salt just to help, magnesium, give them a little bit of boost of, to help the leaves, and just life in, magnesium is magnesium that's in Epsom salt. I gotta do a little bit more research. I'll put a little comment on here about like what Epsom salt does for your plants, but I water them with that. And the leaves did have a little bit of, they were a little bit more sad looking than this, but they're doing fine. Like my poblanos are doing fine here in their container. My California Wonder, they slowed down into growth as well. My jalapeno, I did put some basil, and I kept my pollinators. Don't forget to keep your pollinators in the garden when you have vegetables like fruiting plants like this, because they need, if you want to keep them, producing, which I don't think that these will probably produce anymore because we're getting to the end of the season, but they need pollinators to help pollinate the flowers that are on them. See, I still got flowers, buds. They're still coming on this plant, which I don't even know what plant that is, but yeah, I think that the peppers are probably, winding down, which is okay. This is around the time that they start to wind down. So that's just how my peppers are starting to look, and after I transfer them. This is the one pepper plant that I did not transfer over. I just left it in its grow bag, and it seems to be happy about that. And I'm so happy about my sage here. But as we move on, here are what my container plants are looking like with my brassicas that I transplanted so far. And they're happy right now. They're happy. Not even any very minimal pest damage on these so far. Cross my fingers. But as I go down the line, I'll show you these are broccoli seedlings that I had transplanted, along with some of my oregano that's here, that's in the container, and some thyme. These are my aromatic herbs that I hope to deter at least the cabbage moth. I do have some green onions that are there as well that are, they came back. I actually had harvested those, and they are doing fine with returning back because they're like a cut and come again. You can cut and come again your green onions. And as we move on, I have cauliflower. And if you all could see what these had looked like before, there's been some significant growth since I last transplanted these. And so that just lets me know that they're doing fine. I did put some compost in here as well into the containers, along with some, as you can see, some garden straw to help, retain moisture and suppress the weeds, because we get a lot of weeds back here. But I mentioned dill. Dill is great for, when it flowers. The flowers attract the parasitic wasp, because wasps, you want to have an ecosystem in your garden, and the parasitic wasp will come to the flowers. But as you can see, it's close to my cauliflower plants, and then if there's any worms or caterpillars on here, they'll have a feast, they'll have a meal to eat, because they eat those caterpillars. And so it's good to plant dill near your brassica. So I have like plenty of dill, at least in this container. I did plant some more herbs here. I don't remember what those are. Or maybe these are, I don't know, those are radishes or beets or what, but we got them in here. I have another bed. This one is broccoli as well. Got some green onions and cilantro. Cilantro, has seemed to be doing well as far as like helping to deter some of the pests because of the scent. I don't know if this, oh no, that's part of my asparagus. So yeah, these are the containers that are at least in the front with all of my transplanted brassicas, and how they're looking. Doing very well. And in my raised bed, now we can finally see it. Look, so I'm gonna pull out so y'all can see. We can finally see my raised bed from Birdie's raised bed, because it had been covered this whole summer, which was a good thing. But I left this. I put up a lot of beans that were back here and marigolds, which, we don't really need a whole lot of marigolds back here anymore because we don't have a lot of flowering or fruiting vegetables here. But this bean is still flowering. So that means we're going to have some more beans. Well, maybe I should have kept my marigold there so I could attract the pollinators to help pollinate that. Well, we have some marigolds up there, so maybe that'll bring them in. But yeah, I left the bean plant there, which is, hanging over a couple beans actually. And this is my collard that I had transplanted from the container, some more oregano, some more green onions, just to, line it around the border of this raised bed. And in the back, I have mustards. And as you can see, the leaves are starting to get eaten because there was a caterpillar issue here, a pest issue. So I got rid of those, hopefully. They come back, but again, I might have to cover this whole raised bed. But one of the things I also planted here or transplanted was my celery that was in one of my patio planters that I have already harvested these. Like a lot of these celery I've already harvested, but celery is a cut and come again plant. And, the reason why I planted the celery here like this is because celery also deters the scent, I guess. It deters, some pests as well. So let's just, a whole companion planting thing going on here along with my herbs. I got some, let's see, rosemary. That's probably gonna get real big, but I'm gonna move it if it does get that big. And then I also have some. I hope this comes back. My what is that thing called? This was a collard, and yeah, it got eaten up pretty bad. So, but I got rid of most of the worms and caterpillars that are back here. So these are, I don't know what that was. Maybe that's a mustard. That's a mustard, red mustard, cauliflower, and I thought, yep, broccoli again, you know. I also planted some seeds in here, some what is it, beets. So you'll see some holes. Those were where I planted some beets as well, which is a companion plant along with some herb seeds. But again, I don't know, like usually best practice is to plant your seeds first and then put the straw on top because the straw can suppress the seeds as they're, germinating. But, we break rules around here just to see what happens. And this is how it looks. I'm pretty happy about that. And then my okra raised bed, which you all can see, I'm gonna pull it out so you can see it. But look how tall those okras are. Like I couldn't resist. I had to keep them in there. Like I had actually more in there, but I kept a few, maybe four of them in there because they're still producing. Like look at how. Actually, I need to harvest those up there. Ooh, they're like really big. I hope they're not too woody. I don't know if y'all can see up there, but I have some okra that's ready to harvest that I need to get. But I kept them here because I just wanted okra. Like I love okra, and I didn't get a whole lot this season, but I did remove a lot of the pepper plants, my Tabasco pepper plants, which you all see that's in containers, along with a couple of zinnias because um, they were just, really lush and just shading out the bottom of the bed. Oh, we got a pollinator. Yay. You see that? I don't know if y'all can see. I'm so happy about that, seeing that. That makes me smile because I thought that I got rid of too many of my pollinator flowers, but they're still here. Um, but yeah, I wanted to create some open space down here so that I could plant some more brassicas that can get, shaded by the okra, when it's hot. So kind of like a companion plant, but they work together. So I did plant some Morris Heading collards. I think they're like a cabbage collar variety, but I did plant them and they kind of actually grow tall and branching. I planted some of those, about four of them down here. I need to replenish the soil down there because it still is probably, zapped of all the nutrients from the okra. But I'm going to add some more compost here. I did plant some carrot seeds as well. I don't know. I'm just throwing out seeds, y'all. Like Oprah gives out gifts at her TV show just to see what happens. So that's gonna be my other collard raised bed. But I'm probably going to let these okra just, I don't know. I'm still debating if I'm going to take them down at some point, but they're there. Um, I do have some lima beans back there as well. So that's adding nitrogen back to the soil that'll help the brassicas growing in this raised bed. And another experiment I'm trying out that I don't know, we'll see how this works out, y'all. But I have ginger that's actually growing in this bed. And I was pleasantly surprised by the ginger growing here with the cantaloupe that I previously had. And, since it's still growing, I'm like, but it's not taking up a lot of space. So I just planted some of my Swiss chard. Sorry, I got mosquitoes all back in this corner. Swiss chard and on top. And I don't know how this is going to work when I actually have to pull up the ginger because I'm going to have to move around the Swiss chard, but hopefully it doesn't disturb it too much. I do have some arugula back there as well. And yeah, everything is seems to be happy so far. I'm just gonna let it rock. I'm gonna let it do what it do. Gardening is an experiment, and this is my first year growing ginger like this. So I'm gonna see if I actually, one, get a ginger harvest, and two, how it does with the Swiss chard and how the Swiss chard and arugula, you know, companion plant well with the ginger. But I'll keep y'all posted. This bed is filled with turnips, purple top to be exact. And I'm so happy about this bed because um, one, I started my turnips like August, and look at how I started them indoors actually late July, and I transplanted them in August. And look, y'all, they're like ready to harvest already, already. So I'm gonna pull that up actually this weekend because yeah, those are definitely ready to harvest. And the thing about turnips is that you can plant them, you can eat like the turnips themselves and also the leaves. So as I'm pulling those up, I'm going to actually succession plant some more, which I had started in this little container here, and put them in the raised bed so that I can have some turnips in, I don't know, November, hopefully, again to this size, so we can have some for Thanksgiving. Like, I think that that's so cool that we have our turnips growing, ready for a late summer harvest, and also going to have some for a fall winter harvest as well, along with my nasturtiums. Y'all, I'm still trying to figure out how to use nasturtiums medicinally, which they are a medicinal plant, but also too, you can eat them, but they're taking up so much space, and I don't use them. So I'm like, do I pull it up? But they look so pretty. So I'm like, do I pull them up? Um, and make more space to grow something else here for the fall, or what? I don't know, y'all. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. Like, they're doing so well. They love this weather, this fall, early fall weather. And my other bed here, that is my tomatoes. I'm gonna have some fall tomatoes, which I'm so happy about. Look at how they're growing on this arch trellis with their flowering. Oh, so happy about that too. The flowering marigold that grows actually tall instead of bushing alongside that plant. But underneath here, I had my some celery that was down. Actually, I still do have celery there, but um, beneath here I have some cabbage that's growing along. It's getting shaded by, from the heat from the trellis, the tomatoes that are on there. I have some more lima beans that are growing there, my snapdragon, celery, but I did plant some carrot seeds in this area, and it's good to like plant carrot seeds like when the soil is damp, and then put down some of this here cardboard on top to help the germination process because they don't like the hot sun beaming down on them. So let's just hope that that worked. And my little friend here, this here um, garden spider, if you can see it here, like me and this garden spider have been, hanging on this whole, working together this summer, as it's been helping to, kill off some of the mosquitoes. That's why I don't have a whole lot of mosquitoes in this raised bed area here. It's doing well. Like, it's when you see a spider like that, I almost did kill it, and someone told me do not kill that thing. It actually is a friend, so I kept it here. It's really big. Like, this video doesn't do it any justice to show you how big it is. So that's my cabbage bed. I still have some cabbage seedlings in there that don't have a home yet. I'm probably gonna put those in some containers. We'll see. Last but not least, my lettuce, lettuce and all the things raised bed, which has some lettuce seedlings that I had. transplanted alongside some seeds, some radish seeds that I put in here. Um, Doing something, trying to kind of do something artistic. Like I'm doing like, I hope this looks like presentable, like when the lettuce like grows in, and I have like a line, a row of some radishes growing in, and then I did a different color radishes on the other side, along with some more lettuce seedlings, but and also some bok choy as well. Um, yeah, this is going to be a really pretty raised bed once everything grows in. I kept all of my basil in the back, and also I have my rosemary back there. And then I also, this is actually where I had my tomatillos growing. Like, I'm gonna miss those so much. They were so good, but they were dying. So I just pulled them up, made space. I put some more compost there, and then I kept my cherry tomatoes, which are so pretty. They are finally really taking off in the fall, which is so weird, but I love it and I encourage it. And is that a harlequin bug? That is, it did fly away. But yeah, I have these, and I don't know the variety of these here tomatoes, but they're like an orange variety, and they're so good. And then I also have a second round of cucumbers, which they, the first ones died off. This one looks like it's struggling as well, so I don't think that it's gonna last. I have one cucumber coming in, y'all, when I had so many that was growing before. So I think that that's probably the end of the era of cucumbers. But it's all good. It's all good. We still got tomatoes, and then we got our winter and fall vegetables growing underneath. So I'm excited about that too. Okay, y'all. So y'all got like a little mini tour as well. But this is just how everything is looking right now, as I have, it looks like I finally transitioned to my fall garden, which I am excited about. I was procrastinating, I ain't gonna lie. I was holding on to summer, but y'all, it's September 20th and it is the last day of summer. So I have to just accept that fall is here. I'm embracing her, him, her, and we're just gonna let the fall garden do what it do. Like I'm excited about new things that I'm growing this year, the old things growing better, hopefully. Collards, like I hope I get a big um collard harvest. Like we love collards. So I hope you all enjoyed the tour, enjoyed seeing how I transfer and transition over to the fall garden. And stay tuned, be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and happy gardening.